Okay, so this is a video on what we did in Zoom for my Mau kids. How much water do you really need to drink? So we found out that on average you get 6 to 8, but that's only an estimate. So that is only an estimate of that science did, and that's only looking at an average. Um, so that's only going to look like for the average adult. So the size and average adult. But now we're going to figure out, you're going to go through in this assignment and you're going to figure out how much water that you should actually have. Now you can brainstorm some things that might affect you for your particular water intake. And then some of those things that we kind of said in my modeling our world with mathematics, since when we came up with that, was okay, so what about your exercise? Okay, and the age of the person, and whether or not you're in a hot tub or a sauna because it makes you thirsty, the temperature outside, maybe your health conditions. We also said maybe the size of your body, how much you weigh. I'm going to put weight. And then, are you sick? So I know when I'm sick, I like to eat, I like to drink a lot more. And then the amount that you sweat. So if you're a big in that amount that you actually sweat, and there could be more that you have, and you can definitely add those. So the next thing is the Mayo Clinic lists 3 rules for calculating the proper hydration according to your weight. So those are you're going to go through and you're going to divide by 2.2. And then you divide by 2.2, divide by your product by, I don't know. Yes, you can use a calculator. So multiply that number depending on what you get. So you're going to go through and you're going to multiply that lovely little number. Take your weight in pounds and divide by 2.2. So whatever your weight is, whatever that is, and then divide that by 2.2. And then it depends on your age. So if you are younger than 30, you're going to multiply that by 40. If you're between 30 and 55, like Miss Hazelton, because she just turned 50 this year, then you're going to multiply whatever that was up there by 35, and then by 30. And then the other one is divide by this. So you go through and question 2, you do that for you. And nobody's going to look at this and figure it out. So in this question, so for question younger than 30, so if you are younger than 30, you are going to take your weight and you're going to divide by 2.2. So remember a fraction bar, and then you're going to multiply that by 40. And then you're going to divide that whole thing by 28.3. So you're going to do that again. And this time, this is like for somebody who's between the age of 30 and 55. So you're going to take that weight, divide by 2.2, multiply that by 35, and now divide that by 28.3. And then if you are somebody older than 55, like my parents who are 70, so if you are somebody older than 55, like my parents who are 70, you're going to take the weight of that person, divide that by 2.2, multiply this by 30, and now divide by 28.3. And that's going to give you your weight. So then on the back side of this lovely worksheet, there's going to be more than just your weight that influences how much you drink. The American College of Sports Medicine recommends that you're going to do 12 ounces of water to every 30 minutes of exercise. So if you play soccer and practice 1.5 hours, that's 3 30-minute cycles. So 1.5, so if I went 1.5 times 60, I get 90. and then I take 90 and I divide that by 30. And that's how I really got my 3 right there. That's how I got those 3 30-minute cycles. So how much should you increase on your daily allotment? So if you play soccer, how much should you add? That's what they're asking right there. How much should you add? So you're going to go 3 times 12 because they're asking you to add 12 ounces for every 30 minutes. So 3 times 12, and then that gives you 36 ounces of water. So if you exercise in hours, you have to calculate. So we have to write a little formula. In hours times 60 divided by 30. So in times 60, and then divide that by 30. And now you're going to multiply whatever that number is, because that's how I got my cycle of 3. So now you got to go through and you got to multiply that by 12 ounces of water. And this will give you the additional ounces of water that you should consume. And then you already found how much water you should consume for you. You already found that. So that's just to do that additional part. So how might eating, and this is where you get to do this, how might eating a bag of chips affect your need for water? So a bag of chips, this is your opinion. I'm not asking you for anything. This is just basically your opinion. So your assignment is to kind of go through and look at this. So if you're working in the garden and you're for 2 hours, and we're going to consider that to be like, and you have a 16-ounce bottle of water. So we're going to assume that you have a 16-ounce bottle of water and you carry around with you while you're exercising, gardening, or walking. So you're working in the garden for 2 hours, and this is a hard work. This is like you're hoeing, you're raking, you're rototilling, you're something. This is like intense gardening. This is just not like sitting on your butt, like just very little pulling weeds, okay? And we are assuming that, recall, you're under the age of 30. So so basically, how many ounces of water should you plan to consume that day? So this part A is really the same question that you did in question 2. And I'm not going to go back and figure out your weight, so don't worry about that. The new account for the 2 hours of watering. Now you've done this excruciating gardening. You've hoed, you've raked, you've rototilled. I mean, it's like a lot of hard work. You're sweating up a storm. Now, how much more water should you actually consume? How many more ounces? And then this, now you're a female. And you're a female, but you happen to be 70 years old and you're going to work out in your garden. And you're going to do all of this. So now, how much total should this female do this if she's in the garden? So this is, you're going to have to go back and look at that. And then the last one, she drank 6 ounces of 16-ounce bottles of water. And is this female, for question 8, does she have enough water? Did she drink enough water for the day? So that's question 9. And then question 10, what size water bottle do you have? And then how many bottles of water do you think you should drink that day? So think about those particular things, and then that's your assignment.